Hey, Todd Berry from toddberry.com. Today I'm going to give you multiple tips about utilizing your time right when you're building your business part-time. Right? This is one of the biggest challenges that people have once they get out of their own headspace and say, yes, I'm going to do this, is then the time piece. Because most people that build a business, they already have busy lives, right? Busy people get things done. That's a truth, right? It is a truth. And so you already have, in today's world, we're used to being so engaged in many, many ways, right? Between how we're connected with other people and organizations we serve and our churches and our families and our work and our kids' sports. And it's a lot of stuff, right? A lot of stuff that you are interfacing with. And so now you're going to add this, right? And when you one of the greatest outcomes of a network marketing business is the time, right? Especially a successful business gives you time freedom. But even the development of $400, $500, $600 a month on a part-time residual basis, that allows you time, right? That provides time because it's an exchange of resource. And so the issue is, how do you make sure, right, that you utilize the time that you have properly? Because, the reality is you can build this in 5 to 10 hours a week. You can. But you've got to do those 5 to 10 hours a week. And you have the time. It's just a question of making sure you utilize it right. So I'm going to give you some principles here. This is an area that I have mastery in and have taught everybody from getting started newbies in network marketing to corporate executives how to best use their time, because time is a resource that I value highly, and I'm tremendously good at organizing it. I'm not good at organizing things. So I'm not saying, hey, I'm great at everything. I'm just telling you this is one area I'm really good at. And so first thing you have to do to really maximize your time available is you got to plan. You have to plan on a daily basis. And you got to plan everything in your life, right? Because you want efficiencies. And so you need to plan what goes on in your personal life, what goes on in your work life, as if it's one thing. And then in that plan needs to be your network marketing business. Your home business has to be in that plan. You got to plan every day for your work. All right. So if you're planning, that is putting you ahead of the curve from the standpoint of making sure you're being proactive in your life in the areas that matter. And that ultimately gives you tons of time. And that's a big topic I'm not going to cover more excessively right now. I want you to just understand that at least 5 to 10 minutes of planning per day will be worth 45 minutes to an hour in better time utilization. That's how it works. So you got to plan every day. Next is you got to have the mentality that you are going to do what you got to do. In other words, you have to get to the place where your dream is not optional. All right. So in other words, if you think about it, you go to work every day, right? You go to work every day, whether you feel like it or not. It's not optional for you not to go to work. I mean, I know you get a couple personal days a year and some holiday. I'm talking in a general basis. The days you have to show up for work, you have to show up for work. It's not optional. If you try to make it optional too much, you won't have that job anymore. If you own your own business, completely not optional. If you don't show up, it doesn't happen. And so you have to take the same mentality, right? Because it is a mentality. The mentality is, I'm showing up. I'm showing up every day. That's not optional. I'm going to be consistent in my work. When you take that mentality, you take away the option of not doing it based on how you might feel. That's a big, big moment in the future of your success in your network marketing business. Next is you clock in. So if I plan, right, and this is especially true when I was early in my business and I had 2 jobs. And so I had to plan. And I did this for years. I planned prospecting time. I would say, okay, from 9 to 11 is prospecting before I do anything else. And I don't take any other calls. I don't do anything else. It's only these 2 straight hours are prospecting calls, right? That's the way I would function when I had a full-time job and a part-time job, and I would come home in the bank. I would eat from the bank and eat dinner and have maybe an hour before I then went to my bartending job years ago. That hour was planned. I had it planned in my schedule that from 7 to 8 I was clocking in, and then at 8:15 I would leave to drive to the nightclub I worked in years ago. So that's how I built my business, was in those in those clock-in periods where I planned it and did it. I showed up and did it. Didn't matter if I felt bad that day. Didn't matter if I had low energy. I showed up. So maybe I wasn't as effective as a day I felt great, right? Or felt dialed in. But it doesn't matter. I showed up. And so I still was productive and still showed up. That's really important. That's how things happen in life. So you plan it. You have the mentality it's not optional. And then you show up. You clock in just like you would for someone else. Next is you consider fit in and pockets. Fit in and pockets. These could be two different things. So you have pockets of time, especially with today's technology, that you can easily shoot out a text, shoot out a quick message, touch base with someone you're following up with, touch base with someone you want to talk to, right? You might have a 15-minute break in your workday where, other people are hanging around the water cooler, right? In that 15-minute break, you could use those 15 minutes to send out some messages and follow up with a few people and make a few contacts, right? You could use your lunch hour. I know a lot of people who built their whole business on lunch, right? Built their whole business at lunch. It didn't mean they went and bought lunch for people every day. It means they worked their business in that 1 hour every day. Why? Because it's a free hour right there that everybody has. Now, you could have lunch with people. You don't have to buy it for them. You could have lunch with people every day. Talk business. That's 5 appointments a week. That's just an example, right? You could sit at your desk and probably do 5 to 10 presentations through tools. I mean, there's so many things you can do when you think about your time this way. And that's the power of it. And so you have pockets of time before work, in breaks, after work, right? You have fit-in points too, right? Like lunch. And then, of course, your time after work, or whatever. And so that then leads you to the next thing is that social media provides this awesome platform that you can work from in all different kinds of services. You can do Messenger on your way to work by sending voice messages. I mean, it's so easy to utilize social media in working your business the right way. You got to do it the right way. And if you don't know the right way, reach out to me and I'll give you some coaching on that. And then, you want to be putting attraction posts on your social media too. And so you could do those in the morning and in the evening. But because of technology, the ability to stretch the day 24 hours exists. And so it's not hard to figure out, okay, it's just a matter of what do I want to do? How many contacts do I want to make? How many, that's really all that it is. And then you use Facebook support groups and as part of leverage for you and for your team, right? Because that's a support function that takes you out of the equation. It means that you're not absolutely have to be the one to answer that question. So there's 6, 7 time utilization tips that you can use right now in your work. Very, very simple. Do reaches first, right? Reach outs. Hey, you got a second to talk? Hey, you got a second to talk today? Hey, do you got a second to talk today? How many of those can you do, right? In the AM or the PM? Or, hey, trying to reach out. Or, hey, I saw this, right? So any initial question, that's a reach out. An approach would be by phone. A reach, you always convert to a phone, but you do those two things first in your day. You can do half dozen reach outs on your way, on your way to getting ready to go to work in the morning. And that'd be 6 people that could respond back and say, hey, yeah, I got a minute to talk today. And then you can talk and arrange that time. And so then you always do your approaches first, and then you do follow-ups after it. That's a really simple way to kind of utilize your time. I can't give you the whole ball of wax, but that should be plenty helpful for you to work with. And again, if you need coaching, I do coaching on a case-by-case basis. We'll do some group stuff in the future. But if you need some coaching on this topic, feel free to reach out and I'd be happy to help you. If you have not signed up for my blog yet, make sure that you do at toddberry.com. And hey, I hope this is helpful. Feel free to share. All right, see you next time.